thank you very much for doing that for us. It means so much to have, actually it means so much to have you doing that for us, much more so than anybody else to do it. Thank you for coming down tonight to do that. Now, I would like to call on Rotarian Frank Benner to give a 10-minute talk on... Oh, no, that's not right, that's not right. Frank, would you come up and introduce the guest speaker for us, please? Take as long as you want.
Thank you, President Mark. I had a speech all wrote out, but this morning, Eleanor sent her biography, and it's in large print, and I can read it up there, and it's in mine. Besides, it says some things I wasn't going to say. Well, a lot of you know Eleanor. Eleanor is a positive speaking person, believes in positive thinking. She's very dynamic, always entertaining. She was a teacher, managed a family dairy farm, was very wise when she married Harvey. He's a bank manager. And that allowed him to buy farms and increase. And he's as active as she is. And they've made a great team. They have 3 children. Eleanor is a Citizen of the Year. She's entwined all this successful speaking program that she has with her work at the farm. She's in Rockton. If you know where Troy is, she's from RR1 Troy. Everybody knows where that is. It's about 50, 60 miles east of here. If you don't know that, you know where Rockton is. It's at least 1,000 people. She's very involved in that, in the United Church, the Agriculture Society, taking agriculture to the students in schools. Eleanor encourages you to be the best you can be, and she thoroughly believes that you are in charge of your own destiny. She not only is sure of this, she's positive about it. And it's my pleasure, great pleasure, to have Eleanor Wood come and speak to us.
I'm going to go over here. I feel much more comfortable if I can get right into your face. Thank you very much for the opportunity to be here tonight. What a great honor it is to be among people of your caliber, people who understand what life is all about. You know, there are some people who sit around their dining room table and they say to themselves, somebody should do something about that. Why doesn't somebody take care of that problem? Don't ask me, somebody else. And yet you people have figured out that if you want to get things done, you band together, you have some fun while you're doing it, and you watch it happen. It's interesting to listen to the recounting of 50 years of fun and creativity and giving up on an idea to move on to something else, because everything has its limitations. And from time to time, you have to give up on that idea and move to something new and vibrant, and you'll find somebody else with an idea that you can take hold of. And if you're going to plagiarize, you plagiarize from the best. Even if you have to go with Thunder Bay to get the idea, that works. It's a great pleasure for me to be here tonight. I've got some visual aids I bring along, in case those of you don't speak our language. Would there be anybody here like that? What an honor to have you among us. Accomplished, magnificent people who come to make a difference here. I think that we're going to see what happens when you reach out and touch somebody and you can actually feel their hand in yours. You make a bigger difference than if you send all the Chrétiens in the world to Brazil to solve the world's problems. You can do it here. And I think that's an important thing to keep in mind, that each one of us can make a difference. And if we do that, we really will see things change. Well, you know, there are people who sit around their living rooms with bubble wrap because this is what they figure this is enough to do. I've retired now, so I'm just going to sit around and play with bubble wrap. This will be enough to keep me occupied. They really don't understand that there's way more to life than just doing that. How many of you got up this morning and said, this is is a good day to be alive. 5 of you, all right? I believe it's important when that electronic rooster goes off at 4:45 in the morning and you're going out to do your milking, you have to decide, this is the best day I've had so far, and I'm going to get up and I am going to enjoy it. It's a decision that you have to make. I didn't know that. I thought that you just take what life deals you. If you get up and it's raining, you can be miserable. You ever had one of those days? You get up in the morning and absolutely everything that you turn your hand to goes right. If you thought I was going to say goes wrong, isn't that what life's all about? Isn't that what you expect to get? If you expect it's going to be wonderful, you can be sure you have a much better chance of it working out like that. So you decide, I'm going to be positive today. Yogi Berra said baseball is 80% mental and the other half is physical. He wasn't very good with numbers, but he did understand about life. You need to make that a choice at 4:45 in the morning, that you are going to be positive today. You're going to look at life with new eyes because you got a gift. You got 86,400 seconds when your feet hit the floor this morning, and your job is to get the most out of that, to put the most into it, so that we all can benefit, and the person who benefits most is you. It's important to make that decision, I believe. I wasn't always able to do that. When I married Harvey in 1966, that's 34 years ago now, I thought he was going to make me happy. I said, okay, Harv, make me happy. And he wasn't very good at that. I decided that happiness doesn't come from somebody else. It comes from inside. Learning how to like yourself the way you are, and figuring out where you fit in the grand scheme of things, and finding meaningful work to do. I didn't always like who I was because I looked like this. I looked like this my whole life. That's my mother's fault. When I was growing up, she'd say, Eleanor, you've had a little fall, have a chocolate chip cookie, you will feel better. Thought if I wanted to feel better, all I had to do was eat. So I ate when I was happy, and I ate when I was sad, and I ended up looking like this. The family would sit around the table, they would say, well, Eleanor, you've gone past chubby. We're going to have to take you to Sober's Tent and Awning, get you something to wear. And everybody would laugh. And I would laugh too, because that's what you do. But I didn't laugh inside. Inside I began to realize I was a completely worthless human being. Do you know how important it is to tell people that they're valued? That they have a reason to be alive? That they can make a contribution? It's vital that we do that. So we start when our kids are very young to tell them that. We say to them, you are fantastic. But don't you worry, you'll get better. How many of you think you get enough praise for everything that you do? That's the national average, 0. Now I know that doing a good job, when you've been married for 34 years, you know that doing a good job is like wetting your pants in a dark suit. Gives you a nice warm feeling and nobody notices. The big John Deere riding lawnmower had a flat tire. I went out to cut the lawn at the front of the house with a lawnmower. Cuts a 12-inch swath. I sweat like a hen drawing rails. When I was all done, Harvey came over where I was working. And he said, my, that lawnmower does a nice job. Right? You should have seen it as you were working all by itself. You need to learn how to praise people. Lawnmowers don't care, but people do. And when you learn how to do that, you'll watch them blossom like an apple tree in the spring. So we do that. We start to give away praise to people. That's how we start to brighten up our life. Have you ever had a beige day? You know, when you get up in the morning, you think, all right, this is as excited as I plan on being. It's raining, and I have a bunion on my foot, and I am not happy. Maybe beige is too bright a color for some of the days that we have, maybe we have black days. But I think that you have to suck it up and you have to tough it out, even on those hard days. I think you need to go to your cupboard and rummage around till you find that something special. All right, you're wondering what this is. I think you need to go to your cupboard and find that little collar of enthusiasm and put it on. Look at your 86,400 seconds, your 24 hours that's been given to you, and understand that it is of value. And your job is to go out there and spread the kind of enthusiasm that you will find in your life if you look to other people. You might walk up to somebody and give them a smile. If you're walking down the street and you smile at somebody, what happens? They smile back. Now, every once in a while, you're going to run into somebody who says, "What's so funny?" But you have to deal with those people, too. So you give them a smile. I stand in front of a lot of rooms of people, and I look out there, and I see smiles on people's faces. And it encourages me more than if you'd taken me aside up here and said, "You're just going to be fine." So you give those smiles away to people. It changes their life. And it's the second best thing you can do with your lips. Let you think about what the first is. Not whistling. You reach out to people. I have discovered that as you go along, every time I do that, I have discovered that when I reach out my hand, the person who sits in front of me reaches back. When you reach out to touch somebody, you get a reward. They reach back, they want to be part of what you've got. It's important to do that, to reach out to people, to make them feel welcome, to make them feel appreciated. That's part of what we can do as individuals to show our enthusiasm for our day. I was reading a book, and it said in it that Dorothy Parker, when she heard that Calvin Coolidge had died, said, "How can they tell?" Now, I certainly want to have more enthusiasm than old Calvin had. When I'm gone, I want them to know I'm gone. So you need to get up and find that enthusiasm for life that is vital. And you put it on and you wear it like a sparkling collar and you share it with all the people that you run into. And you learn how to give them compliments where it's deserved, to give them some praise, to give them some appreciation. How many of you think you get enough appreciation for what you do? Couple of people. It was a Saturday and I didn't have to be in the barn. I was in the house washing the kitchen floor, having the day off. Harry came in and he said, "Are you busy?" I said, "No, Harv, I'm lying down here counting the tiles. What do you think?" I said, "Well, I'm going to need your help for a minute. I've been married long enough to know that this minute is going to get into the Guinness Book of World Records." I said, "What's the matter, Harv?" He said, "Well, I dropped the tractor into the manure pit and I need your help to get it out." So I got up and I put on my gold Bank of Commerce jacket and I started out with him. He said, "Why are you going to dress like that?" I said, "I'm coming out to help you." He said, "You can't go out dressed like that. You're going to get all dirty." I know three things. He's mad at himself, he's mad at his machinery, he's going to yell at me because that's how we do it. I went back in the house, I changed my clothes, and I came out, and there was the tractor with the front end down in the manure pit. The back wheels were on glare ice, and it was chained to my tractor, which was also on glare ice. He wants to give me a picture how this is going to go. All right, now we're going to hitch on here to the tractor. Make sure you do not jerk the chain. If you jerk the chain, it will come apart at its weakest link. It will go around in the air, it will go around your neck, your head will fall off, and you will drive over it. He tells me this because he loves me. He also believes that fear is a motivator, and it absolutely is. My mother taught me about that. She's always saying to me, "Oh, Eleanor, you're out there on Highway 401 driving all those speaking things. All the screwballs in the world are on Highway 401. You know that, don't you? They stand on the bridges at Woodstock with large guns, shoot into the cars as they pass underneath the big tires. They're coming off those trucks weren't you afraid to be out there? Not until you told me, Mom. I don't want my kids to be afraid of life. I don't want to be afraid of life. But we live in a different age today. We need to be cautious. On the farm, we say, cautious as a naked man climbing a barbed wire fence. Love to tell that story. The women go, oh, yes. The men go, oh, no. When my daughter came home and told me she was going to Malaysia to teach school, you know, you revert to what you know. I said, oh, well, do you not realize that Malaysia is 12,000 miles away from here? Large animals come out of the jungle and eat you. And you will sweat. You will sweat until you're just a pile of perspiration. And the culture's different and the language is different. It's a fearsome place to be. She said, oh, Mother, do you not realize that Paul Bernardo lived not so far from us? And isn't it true? There are fearsome things everywhere. We don't want to be afraid of life. We need to reach out and grasp it. Because there are things that are going to add to our total. We need to get the facts. And in order to do that, we must not be afraid. In the Hamilton Spectator recently, there was an article, I don't know what I did with it, here we go, about the Federal Aviation Administration. I have to read this. I take my glasses off to do this. How many of you wear bifocals? It's a wonderful way of life, isn't it? There are no stairs that you can see when you're going up or down. So you hang on. I don't wear glasses when I work in the bar, and I figure I'll recognize a cow if I see it. I said to Harv, look at this cat coming into the barn. He's only got one eye. He said, you better have another look. That cat's going out. According to the Hamilton Spectator, to test airplane windshields, the Federal Aviation Administration uses a specially built gun to shoot a dead chicken at the windshield at about the speed the plane flies. They figure if that doesn't break it, the windshield will survive a collision with the bird in flight. The British heard of this and borrowed the American chicken gun to test the windshield on a new high-speed train. The chicken smashed the windshield, went through the engineer's chair, broke an instrument panel, and buried itself in the back wall. Stunned, the Brits asked the FAA to check their test procedures. The FAA checked and had just one recommendation. Use a thawed chicken. Clearly, we need to get the facts. And that's part of the reason we suck up the fear that perhaps we have. Get the facts and the fear disappears, and you step out to find out what you're capable of doing. Because we don't know what our capabilities are. How many of you know more today than you did when you were 20?
I do.
Yes. We learn as we go along. And I bet it isn't because everything has gone so trippingly well in your life. How many of you are worriers? A few? Harvey and I sleep in the smallest room in our house. It's the size of a shoebox. But it does look out on the barn, so it does have its good point. Because Harvey likes to sit on the edge of the bed on those hot summer nights when we're having an electrical storm, peering through the curtains, watching the barn, waiting for it to burst into flames. If that ever happens, he's ready. He was in the yard the day the tornado hit our place and took the end of the barn part of the roof off. He came running in. He said, oh, Eleanor, my barn is blowing away. I said, relax, Harvey, I'll get it. In 10 minutes, the neighbors were there. You think that's what we needed to know? About what good neighbors we have? About what it is to be a good neighbor? I think someplace along the way we figure if we just do what we're told and follow the rules, nothing bad will ever happen to us. It doesn't work like that. There are lessons that come to us when we're not even expecting them. It's our job to figure out what that lesson might be and learn it and move on. I want to share a story with you. Last September, I went down to get the mail, And there was a letter addressed to Harvey and I. It was from the Grand Erie District School Board. Are you in that? You're not, because you're in Oxford County here, right? Right. This is Haldeman, Norfolk, and Brant. We live in Hamilton, Wentworth. So I thought, well, this is a little odd. Why would they be writing to us? So as I walked along, I looked at the letter, and it said, Mr. and Mrs. Wood, Rural Route 1, Troy. You know where Troy is. Troy is a poke and plum town. Poke your head out the window, you're plumb out of town. So, it was addressed to us, and it said, Dear Mr. and Mrs. Wood, transportation services for students attending general interest will commence on Tuesday, September the 7th, 1999, or as otherwise indicated by school staff. Maggie Wood will be picked up by Shark Bus Lines, route number 310, at approximately 7:45 at 532 Blue Lake Road. Maggie will be returned to 532 Blue Lake Road by Shark Bus Lines, route number 310, at the end of the school day. Please be sure that Maggie is ready and waiting at the bus stop at least 5 minutes before the scheduled pickup time. The driver is not required to wait beyond 7:45. Maggie is our dog. So I'm looking at the letter and I'm thinking, this is odd. Now I'm thinking to myself, do you suppose there's somebody in the office in Brantford who knows me and is sending me a strange little letter to deal with? Then I thought, well, no, I don't know anybody who's done that. Maybe it's not for us. Oh, yes, there's our name right there at the top. We don't live at 532 Blue Lake Road either. It's not even in Troy. It's way up the road. This is odd. Have you ever talked to yourself and got yourself mad? So I'm walking along and I'm thinking, no, this is really strange. So there's some little girl somewhere named Maggie who is not going to get the bus because I got this dumb letter. No, what's the matter with those people that sit in that office? They're working on $100,000 a year jobs, and they've got a $9 million computer, and there they sit in their incompetence. That Mike Harrison always cutbacks. Why, this is his responsibility. What's the matter with these people anyway? Can't they do anything right? Why, somebody should write to these people. So I did. I wrote, we are prepared to get Maggie ready to meet the bus in the loading area, but we would like it if you would come to Troy, not Blue Lake Road, to pick her up and take her to school since that's where she lives. She's pretty well behaved, but I cannot promise that she will not try to sniff out the other passengers' lunches. She is well trained, but I'm sure the bus driver won't have any trouble training her on the bus. She is a quick study. She likes to hang her head out the window to let the breeze blow through her ears while in transit. Could she have a window seat? She has had lots of training riding in vehicles while riding in the tractor on our farm, but sometimes she likes to sit on the driver's lap. Would that be a problem? She drools when she's hot. She should be a much happier passenger if the bus on her route is air conditioned. We live in the region of Hamilton, Wentworth, and all of our other children have gone to school in our own area. Our youngest school-age child is 28 years of age, and Maggie is our dog. She is a friendly dog, licking the hands of all she meets, so the other passengers need not be afraid. If you have any trouble with Maggie, just tie her to a tree. That works for us. Well, the first time I read this letter, there was a lady sitting in the front, and she said, I live at 532 Blue Lake Road. And I have a daughter named Maggie. Isn't that interesting? Had this mistake not occurred, I would not have met that woman. It's not earth-shattering. But I think sometimes things happen to us that lead to other things that are good. The second time I read the letter, good old Ed from the transportation department was in the room. And he said, oh, you won't believe the troubles that we had last September. We sent letters everywhere. We sent them north of Toronto, and people wrote, and they said awful things, and they called on the phone, and they were mad, and every day it was just awful to go to work. And then your letter came, and we passed it around, and everybody had a chuckle about it. We can deal with life if we understand that none of us is getting out of it alive. So we need to lighten up. Not be so worried, take everything so seriously, and get so tied up in knots about life. If we can find a little humor in our life. I think if we can find humor, we will discover it is the secret to life, as is, you used this before? WD-40. When I went to John Deere, they told me that WD-40 stands for water displacement, and 40 is the number of formulas that they came up with before they got this one. Clearly, perseverance is the name of the game. Think about the guy who created Preparation G. If he could have hung in long enough, he might have created Preparation H. Made himself a fortune. But I think in life, if you've got a sense of humor, you will be able to cope with much more. If you need to have a hard time in your life, try to find the funny side, the lighter side, because it will help. We hadn't been on the farm very long. Harvey said to me one day, "All right, Elmer, I want you to go out and cut the field of alfalfa behind the barn in lands." I said, "Huh?" He said, "Don't you know what in lands means?" And I said, "No, but I bet you're going to tell me." This is what he said. "All right, you hitch on here to the hay barn, drive along there to where the farmhouse used to be. It isn't there anymore. We took that down at the turn of the century, but you saw a picture of that in the old family album, and I know you remember where that was. There's a little indentation in the land. There might be a few stones strewn around there. Pick out a tree at the far end of the field, so you'll make a nice straight row with the hay barn. If I come home, that's a crooked road, the neighbors would think I did that. Drive along the back of that piece, making sure you don't roll the tractor and the hay barn down that hill. If I come home, we have downtime with that 3155. I'm not going to be a bit happy about that. Drive to where the pile of rocks used to be. It isn't there anymore. We took that away the first day we came to the farm. We have a fine memory, and I do remember where that was. And just work that piece off." I said, "Huh?" He said, "Why did God make you women so beautiful and so stupid?" I said, "He made us beautiful so you love us. He made us stupid so we love you." I was happy when he laughed too. Keep in mind that life is a cooperative effort. It isn't a series of competitions. I believe that life is what we make it. You need to do what you can with a positive attitude. You need to be optimistic. An optimist is a 90-year-old man who gets married and buys a house near a school. You need to be cheerful. Sometimes you have to do whatever it takes to make things right. Sometimes you have to suck up your pride. Sometimes you have to keep your mouth shut when you want to say something. Sometimes you have to do whatever it takes to make it right. Fellows were reading in a magazine, and it said, "The wife who's home with the preschool children all day long very often appreciates a little gift, just to let her know that she's appreciated." So one fellow said to the other fellows who were sitting there, "You know, when we got married, I said to my wife, whatever it takes to make this marriage work is what we're going to do." So he stopped at the store on the way home. He bought 3 carnations and a little box of chocolates. And he went right up to the front door of the house when he got home, and he rang the bell. And when she came to the door, she opened it, and he put out the flowers and the candy, and she said, he said, "Why are you crying?" "When you left this morning, the washing machine exploded all over the kitchen floor, and the children have been messy all day, and now you come home drunk." How long will it be before consideration of other people is so second nature to us that no one will doubt our motivation? There are so many things that we can do with our 86,400 seconds. I think one of them is to be sure that we're working on our legacy. That we set ourselves a goal, figure out what we want to get out of life. What do you want your legacy to be? When we bought our dairy farm, we set a goal for ourselves. I figured my goal, my business goal and my personal goal were the same. It was to raise the world's best Holstein cow. And we worked on that for a long time. And I happened to be at a sale barn one day, and a cow came into the ring, and I thought, I'm going to buy her for Harvey. It was his birthday. That's what you get the man who has everything. You get him a cow. Now, I was not bothered by the fact that the cow was blind in one eye. I didn't think that was a problem. You don't get any milk out of the eye anyway, so it didn't matter. I wasn't even bothered by the fact that it was going to cost me $3,000 to get her. It was my own money. I got it out of my half of our joint savings account. Well, we got her home and we worked on her, worked with her for a long time, and she and I had an arrangement. She didn't run over me and try to kill me, and I didn't ever have to hit her with my hockey stick. After I worked with her for a while, I began to realize that surely God didn't put me here to raise the world's best Holstein cow. Maybe he had a couple of other plans. Maybe he wanted me to make a contribution to other people. Maybe that's what he wants of all of us. And maybe you have already heard that call to do for other people. Get out of your own problems, get into somebody else's, and you help them solve them, and you watch life get better right away when you do that. So we set ourselves a goal. Part of the legacy that we leave is who we are. Actually, I believe that's all of the legacy, because the day you die, everything you own belongs to somebody else anyways. So you might as well be working on who you are. Telling the people in your life that you love them, I think, is a very good place to start. How many of you said, "I love you" today? How many of you heard it? Were you vertical at the time? That's important. I can tell Harvey that I love him, that turns him on. Although that's not as easy as it used to be. He's 59 now. He plays hockey for the St. George Old Dragons old-timer hockey team. A man on that team told him that a man his age should be having sex 15 times a month. I said, well, you can put me down for 4. I think it has to do with how things change in your life. I never expected I was going to get to be this age. I'm 53. On Friday, I'll be 54. I wasn't going to be this age. I was going to be 19. And I was for a long time. And one day I woke up and I was 50. A change had happened. You know, I would get up in the morning, I'd come down for breakfast, I felt sexy. I went to bed, I felt hungry. I'd bend over in the morning to do up my barn shoes and look around and see if there was something else I could do while I was down there. Then I got the bifocals. And that was a change in my life. And then I discovered I was having trouble with my memory. How many of you have a little trouble with your memory? Yeah, we've all had that experience where you go upstairs, you get to the top of the stairs, you can't remember what you've gone for. So what do? You go back to where you had the original idea. You put your feet in the marks of the carpet, because that idea is still floating around there. It'll suck onto you somewhere. Then you can go and do what you have to do. That's why they won't let women over 50 have babies. They put them down, they forget where they are. Change, it happens to all of us. And I found an interesting article in the Spectator when I got that other one out the other day. It says they now have condoms for seniors. I thought that's really interesting. When you get to be 53, you think about things like that. The article said that the condoms are 3 inches shorter and they come with suspenders. It's all about change and how we adapt to it and how we learn to laugh at life. It's so vital to be able to do that. So I tell Harvey that I love him. I tell my daughters that I love them. They're 28 and 30 years old. We still have tea parties. Bev drinks out of a vase, Jennifer drinks out of an egg cup. We have hats when we have dinner at our house. Is dinner time a fun time at your house? It should be. Should be your opportunity to share with each other and make it as much fun as you can. But my son Jamie, at age 14, the gremlins, he went someplace weird, and I didn't know where that was. I was raised in a family of girls. I didn't know what 14-year-old boys needed. He used to say things to me like, "Do you have to breathe like that?" straighten out. He did so many aggravating things. I never said to him, Jamie, you are my firstborn child. When you came into my life, you changed my concept of love completely. I never told him that. I was always going to, but I never did. Because I let it go without saying that mothers love their children, children love their mothers. When Jamie was 27, he came into the barn one morning when I was doing the milking. He came over to where I was working and he said, I'm going on a business trip. And I said, well, goodbye, Jamie. Do up your seatbelt. Never talk to strangers. Phone when you get there. Be sure you have fun. Goodbye. That's what mothers do. Jamie went to the door of the barn and he came back. And he looked me in the eye and he said, I love you, Mom. He opened the door for me that day I wasn't able to open for myself. If there's somebody in your life who needs to hear that, I want you to take 3 seconds out of your 86,400 today and do that. That's the legacy that you leave. That's what people remember when you're gone. Not the things you accumulate. They're nothing. But who you are, the contribution that you make. And you people in this room have already figured that out. You know that you're building your legacy every time you meet, every time you help somebody else. You might not know their name. And they might not be able to say thank you. Yet I believe that while I wasn't able to say I love you for so long, there are people who don't know how to say I'm sorry. There are people who don't know how to say, please forgive me. There are people who don't know how to say thank you. I'd like to be the voice, just for a minute, of somebody that you've helped. A nameless person out there where you've worked perhaps selling roses or buffalo burgers or whatever you've done that brought in $50 to the group. Whatever you've done, whatever contribution you've made, no matter how big, no matter how small it's been, you've helped somebody. Somebody who wants to say thank you. I want to be that somebody. There's a comforting thought at the close of the day. When I'm weary and lonely and sad, sort of grips hold of this crusty old heart and bids it be merry and glad. It gets in my soul and drives out the blues and finally thrills through and through. It's just the sweet memory that chants the refrain. I'm glad I rubbed shoulders with you. Oh, you knew you were strong. Did you know you were brave? Did you know there was one leaning hard? Did you know that I waited and listened and prayed and was cheered by your simplest word? Did you know that I longed for the smile on your face, the sound of your voice ringing true? Did you know that I grew stronger and better because I had merely rubbed shoulders with you? The contributions that you have made through the years has been enormous. You've helped many people, some with names, some without. For that, we thank you. May you continue to do that for a long time to come. My wish for you would be that your fields not have too much velvet leaf. May your conveyors always run smoothly. May you never have too much month left over at the end of the money. And keep in mind about the sense of humor part. May the wind at your back always be your own. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mark. I'm glad I didn't make any mistakes. I'm glad I didn't send my letters to Maggie Wood. Anyway, Eleanor, I've been trained well. In our house, my wife wife Betty does the talking, I do the listening. And I've become a great expert in listening. And I'll say this, tonight's been one of the real pleasures of listening. Thank you very much for coming. And I'd like to give this small token to you for your humor and good wishes to us.
Well, that was certainly refreshing. Thank you very much. I think I had a wee note there that I was to call John back up for a second. Now, John, I must warn you, don't be too long because you got to hustle. I'm supposed to have John back in Woodstock at 9:30.
Well, if this delay was in order to listen to Mrs. Frank Benner, I can tell you it did worthwhile. Well, in behalf of the Brazilian team and the District 4600, I'd like to offer this gift to Mr. Mark Covey, President of the Rotary Club of Tilsonburg, who hosted us really very warmly and friendly. Thank you.
Thanks, folks. Now, okay. Where are we now? Hey, last page. Before closing this part of the meeting, because I know you probably all want to get up and dance, and goodness gracious, look at the time, it's after 8. I just have a few brief announcements. Have a look at the snapshots around the walls. These snapshots have been donated to us by fellow Rotarian Stan Moore and his better half Terry. If there's some photos there that you like, please feel free to take them down with you. And there's a lot of memories there, so have a look at the pictures and just grab whatever you want. Take them with you. They're yours. There's also extra souvenir bottles of wine available in the bar. The cost of the bottles of wine is $10 each. So please grab one of them because the next souvenir edition won't be available until 2050. At this time, I would like to thank the 50th Anniversary Committee for a wonderful evening and a great trip down memory lane. We got talking about forming this committee about, I think, 3 hours after I became president last year. And the guys thought it would be nice if we could put together a small party. I'm glad we didn't say let's have a big party. But you did a fabulous job. I'd like to thank them now, and if they would stand when I call their names. Jim and Betty Sargent. Jim. Stan and Terry Moore. Owen and Jean Hawkins. Frank Benner. Brian Ralph Hart. Bob and Donna Martin. Again, folks did a wonderful job. Please feel free to stay around and visit. We're going to get the band set up very shortly. You're welcome to stay around as long as you would like. We have the room until 6 a.m., I believe. 4 or 5? 7. Oh, 7. Good. 7. Better yet. Well, breakfast in the morning. Now, this time I'd like to call on Vice President Jim. Vice President Jim. And his lovely wife, Kathy. And gavel and ring it together, just to signify partners in Rotary. Thank you very much. Thank you all very much for coming. Please drive careful home. And as I say, you're welcome to stay around and visit as long as you like. Thank you.
This thing might work portable for about 15, 20 minutes.